What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Baby Fathers Podcast. I'm your host today. I go by the name of DJ Ridler and I'm from Live Links. And I have a special guest with me today and she goes by the name of Joanne. How you doing, Joanne?
Hi, DJ Ridler. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on today's show.
It's a pleasure.
How are you?
I'm fine. It was hard getting here.
I know.
Hailstones and the lot.
The reason why I got you on today's show, because I know you've had experience working in the Child Contact Centre.
Mm-hmm. It's something that is really needed in the community, and it's sad that there is fathers are not the amount of fathers that could be getting access are not having the access that they should be having to using these contact centres. Yeah. You know, we find that there's a window of young black fathers, for instance, that are falling through the net. They're just not accessing the contact centres, and it's so sad because they're missing out. Yeah, basically, and it doesn't matter who you are, where your background from, rich, poor. It doesn't matter what religion you are. We've had Christians, Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs, you name it. You know, everyone's in the same situation. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no one's higher than anyone else. And so the narrative that's there that, oh, black guys, you know, they're not there for their children or whatever, they don't have their kids. Everyone's in the same boat. Do you see what I'm saying? But the factor that we want to change is that we want you to be able to fight for your kids in the right way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that you get a positive outcome.
But do you feel that the reason why we seem to see a dip in our culture is because of the authorities, obviously what they experienced in the past? So things like the police, even like going to court, we find that the system kind of doesn't really favour us. So this is the reason why we kind of then find it hard, where fathers are like in our culture, find it hard then to go to these kind of settings, to go and fight for their kids, because it's what comes with it. Yeah.
I think it's a taboo subject in not just in the courts setting, can be in the families. Do you know what I mean? It can start from the family setting. Yeah. Telling your parents that you're going to be going to a contact centre. Yeah. Straight away, it's like you're a criminal, kind of. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they've got to get over a lot of hurdles. Yeah. You know, a lot of mindsets. Yeah. And
why do you think that the contact centre has such a negative, such a negative thing about it? Like what we see about it.
It's a little bit like refuge centres. Yeah. You know, people can sometimes feel that they're like prison from. It's like a prison. They feel that it's like a prison setting. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be watched. You're going to be, you know, like we're feeling negative about the person already from they walk through the door. We have this judgment on them that this is bad or they're bad. Yeah. And that is so far from how it really is. Yeah. You know, I can't speak for all supervisors. I can't speak for all contact centres. But what I will say is that contact centres, they're supposed to not have a judgmental, you know, way about them. They're supposed to just take you as you are. When you come into that contact centre, from the moment you step in to the moment you leave, that is what they get of you. When they're writing a report, they write what they see. Yeah. That's it. They can't write what you did yesterday. They can't write what you had for breakfast yesterday. They can't say what you were like yesterday. They can only talk about what you did.
And what kind of things do they actually write and report? What kind of things do they look out for when a father goes in to go and see his child in a child support centre?
From the moment of them arriving, their mood, how they are, how they conduct themselves, you know, how they prepare. Do they prepare the room? Do they, you know, are they scared? Are they nervous? You know, and that's okay. Yeah. All of that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it, you know, the kind of mood that they're in, and so, and maybe why they're in that mood. Could have been late for the bus. Could have been traffic. Whatever it is, we can put that. You know, they were late. Yeah, they were late but they were late because of this reason. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a protective barrier. It helps them. Do you see what I'm saying? It helps them build up. Sometimes the things that they may not be able to say to solicitors or to say to the courts.
Yeah.
We've got it in the report.
So do you say that the report does help the fathers in court, or do you find that sometimes it can go against them when the report is written up?
Depends on what they've done, or depends on what they've done in that context.
Fathers who has a negative vibes or a negative way about the contact centres. They say that they seem to find that the mother gets more favourism than the fathers.
Right.
Have you witnessed this before, working in these kind of settings?
Well, I could never sit here and say that they will never get that, because as we know, everybody's different. We come from all different walks of life. But I just really want to say to the fathers that that are out there that at the end of the day, it is how you are. It's about whatever's written down on the reports, or whatever we've been given, or whoever the supervisor has been given to read. It's about how you are when you walk through those doors. Do you know what I mean? It's about your response. How do you respond to people?
How you present yourself.
It's not really. I wouldn't say that the mother's favoured, because sometimes it's the mother, sometimes it's the other way round. Sometimes it's the father that has the children. Do you see what I'm saying? And it was the mother that might have been the perpetrator or done something wrong. So I wouldn't say that we go out to favour. We don't try and judge. We shouldn't be judgmental. It should be how you are from when you walk through those doors to how you are when you leave, and how you are with your children. That is it. We write what we see, and that is it.
All right, so let's kind of touch how the procedures then kind of work.
Okay. We have in terms of, we have support, and that's supported, which is supported contact is when the parent comes and has time with the child in the contact centre. He's not watched, or she's not watched constantly, but they use the centre. The supervisors are about. If there's any help needed, they will intervene, they will help. But in terms of the father or the mother having that one-to-one contact, that one-to-one parental role, it's them and the child, basically. That's supported. We have supervised contact, which is where the parents are supervised with a supervisor present. She writes a report, or he writes a report about how the contact is going, and she will and she will not leave. That child basically doesn't leave the supervisor's sight. Okay. She's supposed to be, or he's supposed to be, with that child for the whole duration of the time. And so that is basically what they do. And then you've got handover. Okay. A handover is where the parent that has the parent that's in residency, the child that's in contact with the parent. When the child needs contact with the parent, then what can happen is that the father can go to the contact centre, and then what will happen is they can pick up the child from the contact centre and take the child maybe for the day, I don't know, for the weekend. It's whatever you have in place. And we're there to provide that service. So mother and father don't see each other. Okay. Father may come 15 minutes before and wait. And then the child will come, the mother will bring the child. We hand over the child to the father. Mother goes. Father stays a little bit, waits for the mother to go, and then he's able to go off with his child. And
I was going to talk about the culture. For some reason, I think a lot of fathers think it's a lot of black guys. I think it's just only them who's going through this problem of not seeing their kids.
And that's so sad. And that's why I'm so glad that you've brought me on today, because that's my heart, is to really get to that point across and to really get them to understand that it's not about colour, it's not about, culture, it's not about religion. We have people from all ethnicities. We have Christian, Muslim, we have Buddhist, we have Hindu. Everybody's in the same situation. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's actually sad, and I find that it's really sad that the black young guys out there, they miss out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're missing out because there's the narrative is that it's just, black men are bad fathers and they don't see their children and all of this stuff. It's not like that. It's everyone's going through it. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. They're all going through it. But the sad thing is that you don't see as much, young black fathers coming because they have this negative feeling about contact centres. Like, I've heard so many things. I've heard, I'm not paying for my child. Why am I paying for my child? It's not an event. I ain't going to an event. Like, why am I paying for my child? Why am I paying to see my child? Or you get people that say, oh, no, I don't know one watching me look after my child. I looked after my child from day one. Why am I paying for someone to watch me and write a report about me and my child? And I get it. People understand it. The workers, they understand it. But what's so sad is that sometimes the way you look at it, because it's actually a protection.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's actually a backup.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you have a bad relationship with that mother, and sometimes mothers can make accusations as well as fathers. So mothers can make, say, for instance, an accusation is made, that father, he's pinched my child, or he's aggressive to my child. There's no backup for you.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? You're on your own. Because there's no one there's no mediator to say, no, that person didn't do that. But when you come to a contact centre, you've got someone watching over you, writing a report, saying, this is how he is with his child. Did he pinch his child? No, he did not. We have had situations where you might get a call, from the social workers, and they've said, well, we've had this allegation that this has happened. Did it happen? No, it did not happen.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? But if we weren't there, if that contact centre weren't there...
Then... But why do you feel some others will put things in their way to make it more difficult for the father? What you have witnessed yourself in the past?
There's all different reasons. I think it's going back to... I think that takes things back to hurt, innit?
Yeah.
I think it all comes back to hurt, frustration, fear. Sometimes mothers find it hard to let go. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes mothers don't trust the fathers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, come on, when mothers and fathers are together in that setting, sometimes the mother might be doing the nappy, she might be doing the feed, and he might not be trying that hard.
Yeah.
So she's thinking, well, I ain't going to leave my child with you.
Yeah.
Because you don't even look after. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've got all these little things, but I find that a lot of it stems from anger, hurt, resentment. Do you know what I mean? And when you're hurt, you're going to hurt someone else. And when you're angry and you have resentment, it's hard to think straight. It's hard to think about the child.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That it's the child and what's best for the child. Yeah. And it is so sad because the child's always affected.
And do you see that firsthand?
Definitely. You see children, they really want to spend time with their fathers. You see children that sometimes it's a pull, because children want to please their moms, they want to please their dad. And it's hard because when they go home, they may hear things about their dad, but they want to please their mum.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And then vice versa. Having a contact centre stops that, because we do not allow, under any circumstances, for there to be conversations about the either parent. Yeah. So they cannot talk about mum.
Yeah.
or mum cannot talk about dad.
And if they did do that, what would happen?
Get shut. They get a warning.
Yeah.
We call them out of the room, so it's not discussed in front of the child. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will just call them out, and then we will say to them, if it continues, we're going to have to cut contact. Mm-hmm. And we'll have to just cut contact. And
has this happened in the past?
It has happened in the past.
And what's the reaction to the parent when that has been?
They're not happy because obviously money's involved, different things are involved, and it doesn't look good at the courts or solicitor or social workers. A lot of them do comply. Mm-hmm. They do think, okay. It's hard because sometimes they want to get their point across to the parent or to the child to say it's not me, I wanted to see you, it's your mum. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's the only time they're going to be able to see that child. Do you see what I'm saying? So they want to, the temptation to get that in, but they can't because they've got to think about the child. We're talking about fathers, but it's both ways, but the whole court system can take forever. It can long things out to the point where it's taking years and they just want it to end. And it feels like it's never going to end. You're never going to see an end to it. But you will see an end to it because everything is subject to change. Where there's a beginning, there has to be an end. So it will happen, but it's when you don't give up. Do you know what I mean? I always say to it, it's like watching a film. You start watching a film, you can't switch it off before you get to the end. What's the point? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what it's like. It's like, don't switch off. Yeah. Literally, keep going. I say to them, look, do whatever it takes, Even if it means you go to anger management. Even if it means you go child parenting course. Do you see what I'm saying? Build yourself up. Do you know what I mean? Build your case. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Stack your case up so that when you go to the judge, you can say, look, I've put this in place. I've put that in place. I've done this for my child. Let your child know that you tried everything. And
when you talk about paying, how much does it usually cost? I know that different centres charge different rates. So what kind of rates does it usually work from, starting from?
It depends. If you're on benefit, you will get a concession price. If sometimes parents pay half and half. Okay. Sometimes CAFCAS, if you've got CAFCAS involved, they will use their contact centres, and sometimes they'll pay for that. Sometimes it can be, if you're using private ones, then obviously it's you'll pay for it. It's the person that's asked really to see the children. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. That will pay. It can range from, it depends on if you're doing, say, 2 hours. It could be 120, 130.
And is that, how many times would a father need to go to a contact centre to see their child before they get access to say they don't have to do that no more?
It depends on if they're under the social services. They may give them a set time.
Every week?
Could be once a week, could be twice a week. Sometimes 3 times a week.
But then how long does that go for? If it's a social services, is it always going to be continuously to how many weeks? Was it months, years?
Yeah, sometimes that's what I'm saying. Sometimes she might think it's only going to be a week and it extends to 2 years.
And they're paying £120 each time?
Well, it depends on who's paying. It could be social services, it could be CAFCAS, it could be you yourself.
Can I just quickly say something? It might sound a bit out of ordinary, but you don't think this is like a big business? Like, you're telling... Because this could easily be resolved in a sense of, I find this is a system. You have to pay to go to the contact centre. Yeah. You have to pay to go to court. You have to pay to go to solicitors. You're paying for barristers. It's just a very wealthy business.
Yeah. Isn't that you could look at that with everything, can't you? With every corporation, it's all about money. It keeps it going. And sadly, the need is there. Do you get what I'm saying? The need is still there. Even if it is for money, the problem is still there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they have to be there in place.
But then who's creating the problem? Is it ourselves who's creating this problem? Was it the system was creating this problem?
I would say even though the system is the way it is, we don't have to fall into that system trap. Do you get what I mean? The systematic trap. Like, the reason why we need to be watched, or we need to, breakups happen. Breakups are going to happen. Do you see what I'm saying? It's life. So you can't really get away from it, if you get what I mean. Domestic violence, sadly, will happen.
Well, we don't
Someone needs to come in and protect. Do you get what I mean? Someone needs to come and protect the children. Breakups happen. Someone needs to come in, regardless of the system and the money and all of that. Who's going to be there? And people need to be paid. Do you get what I'm saying? But I hear what you're saying, though. But it's like with every corporation, and especially government runs stuff. Sadly, they need to get their money to keep going. Do you see what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of ins and outs with that, and I'm sure people will have their stories with that, Yeah,
I know. So where would the fathers be able to find this information if they wanted to grow this down? Yeah.
Well, first, like most things, you go on Google. You Google it, and you'll find that specific one that you're looking for. Maybe one that's near your area. So
what do you Google? What do you put in the Google search?
Depends on what contact centres,
child
contact centres.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because child contact centres in your local area, or in the mums or the fathers, whoever's got the parental responsibility of the child. So you would look at that, and you will make a referral online. Some, I can't speak for all. Usually the way you'd go through it is, if you're doing it yourself, you would make a referral.
Yeah.
And then that referral, you'd send that off, email it. And it's all online for you to do.
Yeah.
So you'd fill it out, press send, it'll go through, they'll contact you. Or if you don't hear from them, pick up that phone, give them a call, and introduce yourself and whatever, and just say what you need. Basically, it's what you need, and then they try to give you the help that you need, to try to accommodate that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I was talking about presenting himself. Like, if a father's going to the contact centre, how would you recommend them to present themselves?
First of all, I'd say be yourself, because it's how you are with the child, and how we want to get a realistic view. So I wouldn't want to tell you do this, do that, and really. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's all about the child. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? And what the child's gonna get.
But if you don't want to judge you.
But but people are always gonna judge, And as much as we don't want to judge, but it works better for you in all settings. Court, going to see solicitors, family court, anywhere. Carry yourself in a nice manner. Do you know what I mean?
Smart dress.
Yeah, smart. You don't have to be that smart.
So exactly, it's a t-shirt,
but
jeans.
Don't have your trousers falling down. Like that's the worst. You can't be having those trousers, because there's something called indecent exposure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you're around children and other families.
Of course.
So that's a big one for me. Pull your trousers up. Do you know what I'm saying? Just, smell nice. Smell nice.
Don't smell no weed.
Don't want to smell no weed. Don't want to smell, do you know what I mean? Cigarettes. Well, if we smoked weed, that would be a whole nother story.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? That would be a very serious matter.
Yeah.
But, we don't want to, look nice. Try and be clean. You don't have to look, your best, or in your best Sunday best or whatever. But just make sure you look clean. You're responsive. You've got a nice manner about you. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? You can be upset. It's nice when fathers come in, especially, and they're sad. Sometimes they're scared. Yeah. Sometimes fathers are so scared. They're sitting there. They ain't seen their child since their child was like 2 weeks old. Their child's now 1 or 2.
I think as well that they're also very nervous as well. Yeah. Because it's like you don't know how it's gonna go, how the child's gonna look at you,
how the child's gonna react. Yeah. Is the child gonna just cry?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have that. But you know what? It's so beautiful. The process is so beautiful. When you see that child and that child cries, or that child's like not getting on with the father, and the father's really trying, and then we'll try and help the child. We have things like cartoons or different things that a child might like, and toys, loads of toys, you know, and you'll try and say to the dad, well, maybe use this, maybe use that, maybe this is good, you know, maybe give him a drink, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And we find that the next visit might even take the next 4 visits. But there's going to come a time when that child is going to start getting used to.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. It is a different one. So I want to hear your lot's comment and views underneath. We are going to put some stuff in the description as well. So anyone who needs help of trying to get access to see their child and to get access to the court centre. The child... Contact centre, that's it. The child contact centre. Yeah. We're going to put some links in the description, and then, And if you know anyone who's actually going through not seeing their kids, share this video with them, share this information with them, and we're trying to change the game now, isn't it? We're trying to change it where fathers are allowed to see their kids or their child. All right, listen. We're going to head out now. It's the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. Peace, baby fathers. Bye.